Good afternoon. Welcome to the latest episode of Own Your Eating, the Own Your Eating podcast, featuring Jason
and Ross. I wasn't sure then whether you were going to let me speak, say my own name.
I was going to talk the entire time, the entire episode, without letting you speak.
Oh, no. This is exciting. This is our first podcast on the road.
We are recording this from the upstairs of our friends Randy and Roxy's house in...
We're in Orlando. We're right behind Disney.
You can hear the fireworks every night.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe that they're just used to hearing fireworks every single night.
And they have
it's like a Disney parade going on.
A very cool dog, and he is not the least bit afraid of those fireworks.
No.
Where ours would be going crazy.
They would be terrified every night, hiding under the bed.
So it is awesome. We can talk about our first night on the road, but our second night was incredible. They made us a great dinner.
We had a bed. We had a proper bed. We got to have a hot shower.
And we slept in.
There was no noise of some truck and its compression thingy going off, making hideous amounts of noise.
Well, let's talk about it. We're on the road. We're a little busy. We don't have necessarily as much time to devote to these podcasts, but we wanted to make sure we continued. So let's dive into that.
Yeah, let's go back in time.
What's it?
48 hours. Where have we been? What have we done?
It is pretty incredible how
we've done a lot.
How long it seems.
It's pretty incredible when you don't get to sleep a full 8 hours a day. Just how much you can pack into every day.
So Monday I flew home.
Yeah,
from Memphis.
Yeah.
And we had that day to kind of organize our stuff. We couldn't do all that much because the camper that you guys see in the pictures and the videos wasn't actually delivered until Tuesday.
No, didn't it arrive Monday night?
Oh, no. See, I'm a messed up. Right, it came Monday, but then
Monday
we were
night
leaving Tuesday.
When we left Tuesday, exactly.
So we had, it came late, so we didn't really have time to do anything other than get it to the house, hook it up to the hitch, which we weren't too familiar with. We were leaving Tuesday, and we were like, this thing may or may not still be on the back of this car when we get there.
And all of these things, whenever you're doing something new in life, it inevitably takes so much longer than you anticipate because you just really don't know what you're doing, and you're having to read through manuals and Google stuff and look at YouTube tutorials, and so it takes a long time to figure all this stuff out.
Nevertheless, we figured it out. We hit the road Tuesday at about 3:30. We wanted to leave at about 2.
Yeah.
Because we were like, look, we don't know how it's going to be driving with this. We have to drive an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So our seminar started at 6.
Yeah.
We got there at 5:55.
I know.
And that was because as soon as we left, the skies opened.
Mm-hmm.
And it was torrential rain.
I don't know whether that was an omen or not. It wasn't just torrential rain. There was a huge thunderstorm. There was a lot of cracks of lightning and thunder.
The rain seemed to be following us.
Yes.
Because we got to our destination, they were like, oh, there wasn't any rain here. So we, just drove through that rainstorm.
You drove very well, by the way.
Thank you very much. That's about the most I've ever paid attention while driving. Other than when I was, a kid passing my driver's test. I was just phone down. I got this thing I'm pulling. Crazy rainstorm. And we got to the seminar. We, chatting about that. We're at Synergy Fitness. Mm-hmm. It's actually CrossFit Suncoast. And I met Justin Flagg, the owner, at a level 1, maybe less than a year ago, within the last year, and hit it off, as we often do, and talking about box ownership and all that. He's a great, great dude, as you saw, and as you met him. And, when we were kicking off this tour, I just said, hey, would you mind if we stopped by, did a seminar? I was super excited. We had a great turnout. It was cool to meet people that, so I get this a lot, and I don't know if you do, but whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever, you're chatting with people all the time, and you kind of half pay attention to their name and who they are.
It's hard to keep up.
Right, so I had communicated with Neil dozens of times, especially, in the tribe, just in general, but didn't really make the connection to who I was talking to until we showed up at the seminar. He's like, and I had met him before. So it was kind of cool to, put some faces to names, and I think what's been really cool so far, we'll talk about yesterday as well, is just connecting with more and more people.
Absolutely. And I think it was, there were a couple of people actually at the seminar and at Synergy Fitness who you'd met before at level 1 or something, and you suddenly recognize them as you're talking. I've met you before, haven't I? And I love that you kind of piece it together, and that there's these connections out there that you coming back in touch with people that you've connected with before is amazing. And for me, I'm super excited to meet a lot of the people in the tribe who I've been connecting with and having coaching calls with. But it's always fun to meet people as well who don't know a lot about what we're doing and ask us questions. And that always excites me too, because it's like, oh, they really have no idea.
I know, it's like when we show up, I'm like, okay, so you all know what flexible eating is. And they're like, no.
Yeah, and we're like, oh,
why are you here? Yeah. But no, it's funny too at Synergy, because so many people are like, we love your Instagram stories. You're so funny. You're so, not me, but us.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? You guys like that?
We don't. A lot of the time, we're not meaning to be funny.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys are just laughing at us more than with us. But we have had some entertaining experiences thus far, aside from the torrential rainstorm that night after our seminar.
Roz decided to. The whole premise of getting the camper was we can basically leave it and park anywhere overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So we weren't familiar with it. We didn't really hook anything up. We didn't. There's a shower you can use outside. There's a propane tank. You can use all this stuff. We don't have anything.
Yeah.
Still, we have water in the shower, but it's not pumped, so we can't actually use the shower.
No.
But we have, to be honest, the bed's pretty comfortable. Now that we've...
Well, I think it
small.
will be comfortable. But
it's missing some pieces,
and it very much depends on the temperature in the inside of the camper.
So we're leaving Synergy Fitness Tuesday night, and you're like, "Hey, there are these places called pilots where you can stop at and reserve a parking spot and stay."
Exactly.
That's all I knew.
That's all I knew.
So this place was. We had to be in Orlando for last night, so we were like, "Let's get closer to Orlando." Still early enough that we can drive there, avoid a lot of traffic.
Exactly. Avoid traffic. Let's go at night.
So we do that. We set out, and we get to this pilot, and it's just all RVs. Like, not RVs, like trucker RVs.
It's old trucks. There's no
trucks.
I didn't see really any RVs.
Oh, I suppose I was thinking. So those, sure, I'm using the wrong word then.
Yeah.
We do trucks upon trucks upon trucks.
Yeah.
So we're like... at this pilot, and it was...
We had reserved a spot, and I really did not appreciate that we were reserving essentially a truck spot for our car and a tiny little camper. And
so you had envisioned it's basically where campers go to park.
As well as truckers, but it seems to be predominantly truckers.
It was all truckers.
Yeah.
We were the only two idiots with a Subaru and a camper. So, first I park, and a trucker yells at me. Because I took too big of a truck spot. You didn't even hear that. Were you there? He was just like...
I think I was in the car.
Yeah.
I was
like, all right, I'll move it.
I can't stop laughing.
So then I try to back up the camper.
Oh, God.
Which isn't like backing up a normal car.
I wish I'd videoed this the entire night. Honestly, it's so comical and so hilarious.
It's not. So...
your reaction is what's comical about
backing up a camper is not easy.
No.
I'm learning how better.
I'm getting better.
Yeah, you're not going to try it.
I am going to try it because I maintain that the issue you have with it is very similar to what the difficulty I saw you experiencing when trying to turn on a paddleboard and turning the wrong way consistently. So I feel like in my brain I can probably figure it out.
Well, anyway, finally... Well, it turns out it was my coach. Because you were trying to... Your way of directing me is if I don't ask questions, you don't give me answers. So I'm like, am I going to hit that? And you're like, yeah. That's what your answer. I was like, well, maybe tell me before. And then we get to South Orlando CrossFit, and Christian was there. He gave me great coaching, and I backed that thing in.
Their head coach.
Yeah.
Not just good at coaching deadlifts and CrossFit, but
you can coach how to back up a trailer. So anyway, we're at this place, and trucks make so much noise. Yeah. So we're in the camper. We couldn't plug in. If you can plug it in, you get AC. But Roz did not book a spot that had a plug. So it's about 90 degrees in the camper. It's basically a traveling sauna at this point. And we're just sweating.
And just for the listeners out there, Jason is explaining his experience of the entire story. So take everything with a pinch of salt here. But Jason says he's sweating and it's like 100 degrees. He felt like he was dying in a sauna.
There's a thermometer inside.
I was mildly warm, but I was not experiencing the same.
Well, if there are men listening, they will all attest to the fact that men like to sleep cold.
Okay.
Women generally like it a little warmer.
That's fair enough comment.
As I was saying, it's not as if the bed is uncomfortable. It's small. So, we were supposed to have a queen-size bed in there. And it's not a real queen. It's a small queen. And they gave us enough cushions to create a full.
And when we call it a bed, it's a bench. It's not a bed.
It's cushions.
It's cushions.
On a bench.
I know. It's just when you say bed.
But it's not as if it's like, I'll be honest, like it's not like uncomfortable. Like
no.
I thought I was content on there. It was the temperature and the noise that was uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't sleep with anything typically. I had eye mask, earplugs on. By the time I use the term woke up loosely because I never fell asleep. So I was up all night. That truck, the the compressor that was going off on that truck went off every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was as if someone was shooting a gun in our camper. So, I don't know how you slept. So at one point, not very far into the night, less than an hour, you got up off the bed and went and laid on the other very small cushion. That thing is like less than a foot wide. And I was like, good luck. I was just so annoyed and tired. I don't know. So you were laying there out. You were on your back, hands behind your head like you always sleep.
No, I was so tired. I was like passed out, but I was in that same kind of lucid.
Yeah. I wasn't in lucid anything. I was awake. So you went over there, and I'm like fussing around, just trying to get comfortable, and then you yell out, will you quit moving? You're shaking the fucking camper.
Fussing around? Okay, you were moving every other minute.
I was just trying to get comfortable.
Peed off because I was on this tiny little, essentially, a beam.
No one told you to go there.
If you've ever been to a gymnastics center, you know what a beam is like.
No one told you to leave there. I didn't want you to.
I was trying to give you space. And there I am on some kind of a beam, and you have this whole queen size, or not queen size.
Full size
set of cushions that you could get comfortable on, and yet you are constantly turning and shaking the whole damn camper. And every time you moved, it would wake me.
So let me explain to you.
To me or to the listeners?
Both. That noise that was going off on the truck next door, it was, I'm going to not exaggerate, I think it was going off every 5 to 7 minutes. And so what would happen is this, and I swear this went on for hours.
It did, all night. Until 3 or 4 a.m. when the trucker finally left.
And then the loud beeping started. So anyway, I'm trying to sleep. I'm exhausted. I'm like getting sleepy, obviously. It was late. But this noise would go off. So the beginning of the night, you kind of get in that doze state. And then the noise happens. and you don't realize it's going to continue. And then after a while, you're like, that thing is going to keep doing it. So you would hear it, almost like anticipate it's going to come again. Within the next 5 minutes, start to get tired, then it would come again.
Right.
So the only thing I can equate it to, when I was in college, I have a psych master's, but in our psych course in college, we had to review a study where they sleep deprived cats. And the way they sleep deprived cats were, cats
That's mean.
have very good balance. So they would put them on the edge of this cone, and they can balance there. But as soon as they started to fall asleep, they would slide down, and it would wake them up.
Right.
And they did that, so they were never sleeping.
So that they could get them in a sleep-deprived state.
Correct. That's what I felt like.
For what purpose?
I don't know what the purpose was.
Why would you want to deprive cats of sleep?
Maybe I'll Google it, but
maybe they were trying to test some pills or something on it.
So anyway, and then what happens is, an hour, 2 hours in, you start to get this panic within you of just that feeling of, I'm not going to sleep. I think everybody can relate. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Like, you get that, stress you feel inside
and
your body.
you have to get up early to go and do whatever you've got
Yeah,
on.
I was like, A, we have to get up early because we still have to move to the box. B, I was like, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to be able to sleep anyway late.
Mm.
So I was like, cool. Best case scenario, it's 3, 4 in the morning, I sleep till 6. Which, in all honesty, I probably dozed off for maybe an hour.
We actually didn't get up until about 7:30, 7:45.
Yeah, but I think we were just laying there. Then finally, the camper is solar powered. We killed that. We used it all.
With the fan.
With the fan. And then we're at this pilot, and it's like, if you're listening to this and you're a truck driver, what I'm about to say, I apologize.
Well, what did the beeping come from? Oh, from the solar panel we discovered.
That it was out, we had to shut it off. But the truck drivers at this pilot are not, how do I say this in a nice way? They're just a different breed.
They're not in the healthiest shape of their lives, that's for sure.
All night, they were buying soda, legit soda. And hey, I can't knock it. We teach people eat, drink what you enjoy, but they're not keeping track of anything.
No.
And, so we're in the pilot bathroom showering, basically, with washcloths, brushing our teeth, and these guys are, there's probably no one in the female bathroom.
No, I don't think there was, actually.
Yeah. Well, there was a line in the men's. Lined up.
The only place in the world where you have to queue to use the men's bathroom.
And they were lined up.
And you don't for the women's.
Ready to
pilot truck station.
Use those toilets.
But I actually really loved that little travel station because they had that hot water facility.
That was cool.
So we could make our French press coffee first thing in the morning.
That would be cool.
Which was awesome.
To have at the house, like a hot water station where it's always hot.
I know. I was like, this is awesome. Usually I have to wait 4 or 5 minutes for the kettle to boil. Today, no. I just use this handy little hot water tap over here, and it spits out boiling hot water.
I appreciated that coffee. And imagine how much coffee we would drink if we had one of those at home, though.
A lot.
So you drink a lot of tea, so it'd be easy for you as well.
Yeah, I was thinking that. It would be great.
I mean, it was, looking back, it was miserable, but it was like a learning opportunity. It was an experience, and I'll tell you what, I did not hit my numbers that night because I was severely under, and I woke up the next day cranky.
Yeah, the first thing he wanted to talk about the moment we got up was returning the camper, and I tried to put you off for a little longer until we had our coffee. I was like, let's talk about this. Let's get in the car and let's talk about it on the way to the box.
And let me explain. I love the camper. It's awesome. I love the fact that we're living in this tiny space. It was the lack of sleep.
Exactly, which is why I was trying to kind of manage the way you were feeling.
And once we get the other cushions, it'll be a whole lot more comfortable to sleep together there.
It will be. And plugged in and having the AC working.
Oh, so when we got to South Orlando CrossFit, which, shout out to them, we met Christian, who let us kind of take over the box because, we were there pretty early. We worked out ourselves.
And that was so great. I mean, we felt like hell. We had no sleep, pretty much, either of us. And the last thing you really wanted to do was work out.
I was contemplating just laying on their couch.
but we got to it. You took a little bit longer to warm up and feel less stiff. And once we'd finished an hour of training, we both felt so much better.
Oh, yeah. It was like, that did more for me than a large mug of coffee.
Yeah,
like
100%.
I don't recommend being sleep deprived, but if you are, exercise helps.
It really does.
And we had a great time there. Then we had to catch up on a ton of work because we basically didn't get anything done all morning.
Yeah, a lot of coaching calls with clients. But it was fun chatting with them, especially the ones who had been following and laughing at our experience in the first 24 hours of being on the road.
But we plugged the camper in at that box,
yeah.
and it was like an ice box.
It was amazing. That AC unit is
we took a little
perfect.
Nap after our workout before the seminar last night, and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
So, if the temperature was at that the night before, I may have been able to sleep through some of that noise.
For sure.
In addition, personally, I love having some white noise when I sleep.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we travel with the fan. But the AC was great white noise.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to when we do next have to sleep in it.
It's going to be very comfortable.
Set up.
So,
and I'm looking forward to getting all the other little things set up in the camper too, like the gas stove. And
yeah, once it's more of a home, like we said, we filled in the shower, so now we can shower there. We need to
get the compressor working on that, right?
Correct. It runs off like air pressure, so we just have to stop at a gas station and fill it up.
But I tell you what, that hose pipe outside South Orlando CrossFit did a pretty good job.
If you haven't seen it, go on our Instagram at When You're Eating, and you can see a picture of me post shower, but you can see Roz in a video getting sprayed down by me with ice cold water.
Honestly, that was the best. Having worked out and feeling pretty dirty, and I did feel a lot better after that workout in terms of my energy. But to then get hosed down outside, I was just in some bikini bottoms, but still in my CrossFit sports bra that I wear, and that was the best feeling. It was so refreshing, and I'm sure it was great for my muscles as well.
Well, I think it was great as far as just recovery. And if you live in the Southeast, you know that if you work out in the heat and then shower after, you're going to start sweating immediately.
Yeah.
So that was about the only way we didn't have to worry about sweating the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So that was great in and of itself. Then after the seminar, so I met Randy. A little over, I don't know if it was quite a year ago. I did level 1 as well in Orlando. And we just, kind of hit it off, and I was actually staying in Orlando an extra night, so the next day I went in and worked out with him at his box Mousetrap, where we'll be tonight. And he invited us to crash for one night. We encouraged him to extend that to 2.
Yeah, so we got here last night. We were tired. We were seriously hangry after the seminar, and we get to his house, and I think it gets to like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Well, he has a daughter who had volleyball practice.
Yeah.
So we were kind of waiting on her and Roxy. And once they got home, we ate, and it was delicious.
And it was, I was just about to say, entirely worth the wait. And I can't tell you how, just opening the door was incredible, because this waft of
it smelled so good.
Of a delicious meal was just in the air. It smelled so good.
Definitely something we need to do more is utilize that crock pot.
Exactly.
Because now they have pulled pork for days.
I know. So Randy and his wife are from Puerto Rico, and
he is. I don't know that she.
Oh well, they lived there before, right?
You know what's so funny? This is a side note. When you hear people talking in another language, like they do, but then they drop English in it.
Yeah, no, I love that. It's like every so often you recognize a word or two, and you question yourself: what language are they speaking?
Blah, 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 that crazy little long-haired freak over there, blah, 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 blah.
No, this morning I heard blah, 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 cinnamon toast crunch, blah, blah, blah. I was like, ooh, I hope they're talking about breakfast.
I heard that one too. And I did crush 120 grams of cinnamon toast crunch last night.
Yeah, and I think...
and 2 Rice Krispie treats.
And I think we might be expecting some CTC cookies later, by the sounds of things. Great food. Anyway, yeah, we are being well looked after, and I tell you, after a night at a truck stop, the comparison is just it's out of bounds.
It was funny.
Crazy.
It was Wednesday, and we were driving, and we're in my pit of like panic. I was like, "We can't do this." Blah blah blah. And you're like, "Just imagine how grateful you're going to be when we get home in a few months." And I was like, "If we go home today, I will never look at it the same." So I
just one night's sleep at a truck stop is all you need to get some perspective on your lives, people. That's all you need.
You get so. I mean, I already travel a lot, but I travel to these like, I wouldn't say swanky, but like Marriott's, whatnot.
They're reasonably nice hotels.
They're nice hotels, and it's like basically going from house to house. You don't have all the amenities and commonalities of your house, but it's similar.
Mm-hmm.
You go to this, you had nothing. You don't have water.
No. You're going into I imagine your bathroom was somewhat unpleasant to wash your face at night and brush your teeth, and it's just, there's no comfort in that at all.
Zero. And
you like to, you have we all have our rituals and routines, you have a very specific nightly routine that you like to go through, and you did not get to do that at all. I mean, what's one of the things you like to do? Share with the listeners. I'm not going to embarrass you. I'll just let you pick and share.
I know what you're talking. You want me to say put lotion on my feet.
That is one of the ones I'd like you to say.
What was some of the others?
No, do that. Every night. That's fine.
Well, no, I shower.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
And you have to shower before bed.
I like to shower,
Which did not happen the other night,
within
obviously.
An hour or two before, basically after we get home for the night, wherever we were. I just like to, even if it's just rinse off, that's just me.
Yeah, I get it.
And then, I'll put some face lotion on. And then I sit on the bed and I put lotion on my feet. And then I put socks on.
And then you put socks on to keep the feet nicely moist and lotioned and
I do
soft.
that because I've had times in my life where when I don't, your feet get dry and like crackly. I probably don't need to do it every single night, but I enjoy it.
Right. Well, you do have some of the softest feet I've ever come across.
That's right. And last night I was able to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And you felt better.
Much better. I'm not like OCD in the fact that I need specific lotion.
No.
I just need to do that at the end of the day.
And I think that's totally fair, babe.
And I did not. I mean, I'll be able to do that in the camper.
Yeah, you will. I think and that's part of it. We were pretty rushed in getting on the road with the camper only arriving the night before. So we didn't have everything set up the way that we would be able to and that we can do going forwards in order to still maintain those routines and rituals that we like to do that help keep us feeling somewhat normal.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to head over to Mousetrap in a little bit. We're going to work out.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We're going to give our seminar.
That box looks cool.
It's great, and they have like over 20 people signed up.
Fun.
Then we're going to come back here. It's Taco Thursday.
It's Taco Thursday at Casa de Randy.
We're going to shower. We're going to put lotion on my feet. The other thing about this place is it's freezing.
I'm sorry, guys, but we're probably canceling the tour because Jay's found somewhere that he'd like to stay.
I love a cold night's sleep. I was so cold that I was like, I need another blanket. And I almost stole yours. Because we're on a trundle bed. So she was sleeping up high, and I was down low. And, you know what? They were like, that bed goes up. I was like, I know. But I was like, I wanted to sleep away. So,
you're not going to be getting much space from me over the next 4 months.
I know. I was like, let me just take this 2 feet distance. And so anyway... I was so cold that I was like, I didn't know there was this extra blanket. But were you using that?
Which one?
This one right there, that blue one.
No, that was what you were using.
Oh, that was mine? Yeah. We need another blanket tonight. But it was...
We'll dig one out.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and then, I can't even explain the amount of hospitality we've received in the last 12 hours or so. I mean, even longer because of all that... Just our hosts back at South Orlando CrossFit. They were so accommodating.
Super accommodating, and beyond tonight, we go to Lake Nona CrossFit tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And then we have a little bit of a trek Friday night to get to Jacksonville for my level 1 this weekend.
Yeah.
And then we head back down towards Miami.
Well, we've got our seminar next Tuesday at Drive Fitness, right?
Oh, that's right, my buddy Todd's place in
St.
Augustine, which I'm anxious to see. I've never really seen St. Augustine, so that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's supposed to be beautiful.
We haven't done a whole lot of sightseeing because we aren't really far from the house.
No.
And we're in Orlando, so it's either like you go to Disney or you don't.
Yeah.
But I'm excited.
I'd love to get to the beach whilst we're in Jacksonville, St. Augustine.
Oh, well, you'll have the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And we'll try to go on Monday, but people are starting to reach out. A buddy of mine, Eli, I haven't told you, he messaged like, hey, let's get together while you're here. So
cool.
We definitely want to interact with all of you and
eat some donuts. We haven't had any yet. It's been 48 hours, not one single donut.
Well, I had 5 on Monday.
True.
From Memphis,
yes.
and they were delicious.
Gibson's?
Well, I'm on Sunday, I should say.
Gibson's Donuts,
Gibson's
right?
Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
One of the participants bought in about 2 dozen, and they were almost all still there at the end, which is ridiculous. And I was like, he was like, "You want to take them all?" I was like, "These are gonna go, so let me take 5." And I took, so I took 5, and I had them Sunday night after a nice dinner with my buddy Joe, and that was delicious. And beyond that, I'm excited to see just more of the country. For those listening, they're kind of like, where are you headed? After Miami, we have a week to get to Georgia with a couple of stops along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 4 seminars set up in Georgia. You know, it's the 4th of July week, so obviously we're taking a couple days, not because it's a holiday, but because it's just going to be hard to get seminars set.
Mm.
But we have 4 seminars in Georgia, and then we're heading west.
Well, I think we're going to head from there to Nashville. And then Kentucky.
To Kentucky. And then, so in Kentucky, we have our great friends, Justin and Ashley Drake, founders of The Natural Grip, who are a big part of this tour. So we're going to crash with them because Justin is supposedly an amazing cook.
Yeah. We've got to work on our Kentucky accent. Louisville? That's what Christian was saying yesterday,
And actually,
right?
one thing that was cool that we didn't touch upon is like eating with other macro people is really fun.
Yeah, last night was cool because everybody that was in the house was tracking their macros, and it just made it easy.
A scale just getting passed around,
And the other thing I love is seeing other people's pantries and just seeing how they have their kitchen set up and laid out and organized and their fridge. And it's like, we're pretty good at bulk buying and being somewhat organized with our groceries and pantry, but Randy's place is on a whole other level.
Super organized.
It's really
we need to get
convenient.
On the level back home.
We need to do some reorganization.
And I think you can almost tell, like, when you eat at someone that, or go to someone's house that tracks macros, I think their fridge and pantry have a different look.
Right.
And it's almost like organized via macro and treats.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, like, you can see there's one shelf that has, like, all the Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Rice Krispie treats and Pop-Tarts.
Right.
Versus, their shelf that has, more, like, canned goods.
Right.
And a lot of people keep it organized, but when they're looking at their pantry that they're looking at it as macros versus food.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's kind of cool to see.
That's interesting. Cool. I'm excited for Taco Thursday.
Me?
More pulled pork.
Too. Anything else you wanted to touch upon in this episode?
No, I think, it's been a really fun and positive 48 hours with some highs and lows that which it's just been a fantastic experience and adventure so far. I can't wait for all the memories and for all the experiences we're going to have along the way.
I love it. It's been great. And please, if you haven't already, follow us on all of our avenues of social media, Own Your Eating, whether it's Facebook, Instagram. Check out the tribe on Facebook, Own Your Eating Tribe. Check out our website. Every day we're putting new blog posts. And I think, the best place to follow our tour is probably our Instagram and our stories.
Yeah, absolutely. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and enjoy seeing Jason Ackerman somewhat outside of his comfort zone, then I highly encourage you to continue watching our stories on Instagram and watch the adventure unfold. it's pretty entertaining from here.
Well, I'm glad I can entertain everyone with my discomfort. And we look forward to keeping you updated on the road, and we hopefully will see you all soon.
Yeah. See you soon, guys.